Hi guys, welcome to 9.3. This chapter is all about median and mode. So we already learned about mean, and the other two measures of center are called median and mode. So a measure of center is a measure that describes the typical value of the data set. So that means kind of the average. The mean is one type of measure of center. Here are the two others. So we have median, which kind of sounds like the median when you are driving in a car. In the middle of the road, there will be something called a median that separates you from another lane. And median, the way I remember it is, it kind of looks like middle, which is exactly what it is. It's the middle number. So in words, we order the data from least to greatest. For a set with an odd number of values, the median is the middle value. Sometimes you'll get two middle numbers, and if you do that, you have to find the average of those two middle numbers. So if this is our data set, the middle number we could kind of cover up from the outside in, and we see that it's 9. For this set, once it's ordered from least to greatest, we see that 5 and 7 are both our middle numbers. And so we have to find the average of those two. So we add them and then divide by 2 because there's 2 of them, and then we get the average. Sometimes it's easy to see what number is between 5 and 7 and is equal distance away from both numbers. So in this case, it's pretty easy to see that it's 6. Other cases, it's not so easy, especially with like decimals and fractions. All right, the other measure of center is called the mode. Mode kind of sounds like most, and that's exactly what mode is. So the mode of the data set is the value or values that occur the most often. Data can have one mode, more than one mode, or no mode. When all values occur only once, there is no mode. So in this data set, we see that the numbers 15 repeat and the numbers 24 repeat. So we have two modes, and the modes are 15 and 24. So our first example says find the median and mode of the bowling scores. So we have these bowling scores here, and we need to find the median first. And to find the median, you need to first order the numbers from least to greatest. So I have 90. And as I go, I'm going to circle the numbers so that I know I'm not going to repeat them. And then from here, 105, 120, 125, 135, 145, 160, 160, 175, and 205. So then I like to count and make sure I have all of them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there are 10 pieces of data here, so I have them all. Okay, so like it said up above, if you have an even number of pieces of data, you're going to have to find the average of the two middle ones. So what I do is I start from the outside and I work my way in, and my two middle numbers are 135 and 145. So it should be pretty easy to see that the middle number is actually going to be 140. But let me just show you how you would prove that. So you would do 135 plus 145 and then divide that by 2. Remember, you are allowed to use a calculator on this chapter. So we're going to do 135 plus 145. We get 280 divided by 2, 140. So my median is 140. All right, for my mode, I'm just trying to find the numbers that show up the most. So I'm looking for any repeat numbers, and that's really nice when you already have them ordered from least to greatest. Just look for any repeats. I see 160 repeats itself. So there's two 160s, which means that the mode is 160. All right, next example. The list shows the favorite types of movies for students in a class. Organize the data in a frequency table, then find the mode. So for a frequency table, what I'm going to do is just write out the different categories of movies. And then count how many of each there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 comedy movies. There are 7 horror movies, 5 action movies, and 4 dramas. I've already done this problem, which is why that was so quick. So my mode, again, mode sounds like most. Which one showed up the most? The comedies. So we could say that the most common type of movie that kids enjoy is comedy. All right, final example, find the mean, median, and mode of the sneaker prices. Which measure best represents the data? So let's start with our mean. So just a reminder of mean, we add up all of the numbers and then we divide by how many there are. So we would add 20, 31, 122, 48, 37, 20, 45, and 65, and then divide it by 8 because there are 8 prices. So on a calculator, I will do 20 plus 31 plus 122 plus 48 plus 37 plus 20 plus 45 plus 65. So I get 388, and then I'm going to divide that by 8, and I end up getting the average price of $48.50. So the mean is $48.50. All right. Median. So I will have to organize the data from least to greatest. So I have 20, 20, 31, 37, 45, 48, 65, and 122. So now I'm going to work my way to the middle of the data by covering up the outsides and then going in one step, and then we have 2 middle numbers. So we have to find the average of these 2 middle numbers, so 37 and 45. So again, you just add them up and divide by 2. So 37 plus 45, and then divide by 2. So the average is of these 2 numbers is 41. So my median was 41. And then finally, mode, the number that shows up the most. When I look at my data from least to greatest, it's easy to see that 20 repeats itself, so my mode is 20. Okay, so then it says which measure best represents the data. And remember, we're looking for something that's kind of in the middle, an average. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little number line. Ooh, nice line. Okay, and then I'm going to put my mean, median, and mode on the line. So my mean was 48.5, my median was 41, and my mode was 20. So I'm going to put 20 here, 41 here, and 48.5 here. So we see that the middle of all of these 3 averages is 41. So that means that this, which was our median, best represents the data because it shows the most middle number. So our median was the best. It's not always the median, by the way. Sometimes your mode will be in the middle and you'll want to pick your mode. Your mean will be in the middle and you'll want to pick the mean. It's very, very rare that your mode is the most accurate representation of the data because it doesn't really measure a center point. It just measures which one shows up the most. And sometimes, like in this case, it could be the smallest number. All right, guys, so finish up your exit ticket after you watch the video and then start your assignment and email me if you have any questions. Have an awesome day. Bye.